crossfire setup there. It's just impossible to deal with Giuseppe. Still finds the one!
Ahora tiene que reposicionarse, cuidado porque ahí estaba el choque de Shai. Toxic aprovecha, muy bien Kesney, tiene castigo. ¡Es Kesney!
Here, the coach of Crew, Visa, Adam. Very close, but you did end up stealing Cloud9's map pick. They chose Abyss. 2 questions. 1, were you expecting the Abyss pick? And 2, how have you prepared for Abyss?
We were not expecting it, but it also was not a surprise. I think that Cloud9 currently map pool is not in the best shape, so we weren't sure if they were going to play Abyss, but we weren't surprised when they picked it. And actually, we practiced 3 scrims on that map. It's a really new map for everyone, so we really rely on winning our duels and playing aggressive as we always do. So glad to close that map.
Now onto your map pick, so best luck on map 2.
Well, anytime you have your opponent floating a map and you pick it at the beginning of a patch, it's going to be a risk. And it didn't pay off there for Cloud9. Me and Brendan are going to walk you through, though, some of what Adam was talking about, the more aggressive setups. I thought a ton of people were going to be playing off-site post plans. But round 4, we saw this triangle setup coming out from Crew that I wanted to take your eyes towards. Tucking the pivot player into the corner here, which I'm playing, and then having another player here. I've got the turret because, you know, Mitch is being lazy, doesn't want to take part. And then basically what you've got is...
Turret's better than I am.
You've got a crossfire towards the backer site here if they try to retake, and then you can play double up over towards A main, or you can play double up over towards the heaven angle as well. And this pivot player in this position is really difficult to punish. So I like this. It's a more aggressive look of a post plan rather than just dropping off and playing full cringe lineup spam.
Yeah, yap. That's all this guy does is yap about post plans and compositions and everything else.
Okay, what you got for me then?
I'm gonna give the people what they want here.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you Sage TikTok walls right now. This is all that I've cooked up on this map since it's come out. If we switch to my POV, this is the basic one. Your basic barrier one, block off the main choke point.
It's not very TikTok of you.
It's not very TikTok of you. This one, you've probably met this one already. This is a basic one. This one, wrap around the side, they don't expect it. Boom, you can take an early angle up onto the high ground. Don't fall off. You will be in trouble. I did that early when I was practicing. Here's another one you can do, up and over to the ropes. They might expect this if they play here early, but you wall up, you jump up, you're up on the side here, and if they try and get in, you just need to combo your teammates to kill a dizzy or whatever else they might have.
Yeah.
Any sort of flashes, you know, but you can stay perched up here. They don't expect it. This one I really like doing over here. This one's just stupid. You just put it here like this, and when they peek, like Josh, if you come over here,
sure,
be my little example.
I'd love to be
here. Swing me from the main angle as if you were just expecting a play on the usual position.
Sure, I'm going to be swinging, looking down here.
Yeah, and you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
And you're dead. You're just dead immediately. You're not expecting it.
My crosshair placement is not going to be in the sky like that.
If I had 2 more minutes, I could show you kill trips on Cypher that I've cooked up that catch people and launch them off the map. But we don't have that much time, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to hear what the C9 coach had to say ahead, looking into map 2.
Here, the coach of Cloud9, Emmy. Very close map, but Crew ran away with your map pick of Abyss. The first time we've seen it in Americas, you chose it. You said, we're going to pick Abyss and we're going to run it first. Why pick Abyss instead of just leaving it open?
Well, we think they would have ban it, and we've been practicing it before we were good at it, and I think we were good at it. I think we should have won the map. We don't get ecoed, changes everything.
How long have you been practicing Abyss?
About a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Best of luck on map 2.
All right, you guys obviously broke down not exactly what went on, really, in that one. No,
not really.
I mean, we just got caught up in the fun of Abyss, basically.
It was, honestly, like, you could boil that last map down to Cloud9 losing those 2 thrifties. I think round 2, round 17. It was very muddy, right? Very scrappy stuff from both these sides.
Yeah, especially round 2, considering that is, you've got the pistol and you're looking to get the follow-up. You shouldn't really be losing those, and that might be their entire season in the balance. That map, those couple of eco rounds may just have decided whether or not Cloud9 have it to be able to go to champs.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking forward to Lotus, where I would be favouring a team like Crew. I think typically, even though they've kind of spread out their duties in the attack side calling, they're still a pretty good team at this map, I would say, overall. They have a good idea of what they want to do on it. And yeah, that was kind of the gamble, like what Coach Adam was saying in his interview, where we didn't really get surprised by them picking Abyss because their map pool is weak. Yeah. They literally said that bar for bar. And like you said, Josh, they lost that opening gambit. It doesn't go their way. Lotus is the staging grounds to decide your entire season.
We do have a slight delay down on the floor, which is why you're up with us, and we're going to put our Yap hats on a little bit and look towards this next map here, especially in terms of... I want to revisit a point we made at the start of the first game, right? That Cloud9 have struggled to find someone who, when they are low, can lift them up, right? We had some comedy, right? We had some fun moments in that last map, but how do you feel like this team is trending in general today? It's a close map loss, tough to lose that one here in such a high-stakes game, though.
Yes, Imi is annoyed, clearly, that they didn't win on a map that he feels like they should have done. But at the same time, it wasn't Cloud9 completely falling to pieces. It wasn't a Cloud9 where map 1, they're slow to begin, communication problems all over the place, energy's really low. Like, those issues didn't seem to be there. If they can pick themselves up off the ground and try to win map 2 and map 3 and keep the mental high, they might still have a chance at it. The problem is they rolled the dice and it didn't come up their way.
We did see a slow start from Oxy in that map, though. I think he's 1-7 at some point, right? Kesnet is picking up an operator pretty early on and just dealing with a lot of... Because there's a lot of defensive jump peeking on this map, right? It seems like that's how they're trying to...
I mean, you saw Cloud9 leading into that with the defensive protocols. They were running 2 ops at some point. They were running Vanity and Oxy on it because it's one of the easiest ways to simplify a map and your defensive calling is you put an opera on the line, you're like, okay, we don't have to worry about this area of the map, we can stack 3 players onto the other side. Like, genuinely, that's how they tended to play it. It's why the defensive half looked better. But, yeah, I mean, if you want to loop it back to just the vibes... A back rub, a banana, something in between the maps, just get
frozen yogurt, I think.
Exactly, a little bit of energy going.
One of the issues is when everything is on the line in one match, you actually can't focus on what went wrong in the previous map. You just have to reset immediately and hope that all of the practice you've done, all of the things that you've talked about last week and the VOD reviews and stuff kick in and you're able to realize your potential on Lotus. They were close to winning. But I think Crew looked like the better team today. Immediately out of the rip, they're structured. Heat is on fire. Cloud9 are going to have their hands full with this team.
And he only has one sleeve rolled up. You wait till he gets the second one up there. That's just...
I mean, the trainer weight's off.
It's like Piccolo when he picked up the helmet into the ground, you know? The Crew, like, so, not familiar with that reference?
He's lost.
I mean, you're in an age bracket, honestly. I thought one might work. The executes, though, I think you were mentioning that from Crew, like on the previous map, right, looked a little bit messy, right? They felt like they were more playing for post-plant. So once they got that set up, they were looking pretty good here. But I feel like the scope of our examination here on Lotus is completely different, right? This is not a new map. No. This is something that should be very well drilled, very well known to these guys. Pretty natural for both sides here.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at Lotus, it's a map where the attack side callers can have a huge impact. You've got 3 sides to work with. It's all about taking map control, denying information from the defenders, and then finding the right place to end. If you're Vanity right now, you're sat across the stage from a team that didn't have faith in their normal IGL and had to change up their entire system. He's got to get the advantage.
All right, he's got to be able to find it in some way or another. Maybe some of those magical mid-rounds. We're looking for the mustachioed menace to deliver. The 2024 season is on the line for both teams. Let's make it very clear. This is do or die. So let's find out if we get a map 3 and head it down to Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, guys. Unfortunately, for Cloud9 and Cloud9 fans around the world, they find themselves in an uncomfortably familiar position.
Yeah.
They lose map 1 a lot. What's the stat?
Last 5.
Yeah,
the last 5 series, they've lost map 1. And the only time they've actually won after losing the map 1 was against NRG.
Yeah, that's not a great stat. Yeah. And so we find ourselves in a very similar position, but this time the stakes are infinitely greater. We're talking about the end of the year, potentially today. Forced to sit back and watch at home as all these other teams from around the globe pursue Valorant glory in the biggest way possible. And they just have to sit back and watch.
Yeah, and they had their moments to actually close that last map out as well. Their map pick on top of it. But the pressure, I think it got to them. They're making these basic mistakes where we're walking into smokes in the riskiest rounds. It worked one time for them, but to get a back-to-back round win, making risky plays like that, it's not consistent. And that ultimately was their demise, and that's what Crew took full advantage of.
So we hop in Agent Select again. Map 2 is going to be Lotus. A map where, okay, we've got something different to talk about here, don't we?
Yeah, we've got a double controller with a Clove, and this is something that I actually think Clove can be really good on a map like Lotus. I actually liked what NRG were trying to do with it the last time they played the map, but I think solo Clove doesn't work as well as when you match it up with another controller. And on the opposite side, it's going to be double controller as well. So almost a mirror, honestly.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Cloud9 comp because I want to get your thoughts on this. You saw the Clove and you instantly thought, oh, you really like what Clove could possibly do here. What is it that you feel like they bring onto Lotus in particular?
You can basically deny a lot of info because you have 4 smokes that are rechargeable, right? And even if the Clove decides to die, go in and die, whatever, be an entry, because it's basically a pseudo-duelist in a way, right? You can still put smokes down on the area of the map where you died. And I think that's what's important. So that's going to be really good for the post plant. We've seen teams that run multiple controllers on a map like this have phenomenal post plants. But Cloud9, they have to bring it together and play as a unit on those post plants, play as a team, make sure they're planting in the correct spots, and they can actually do something with this comp.
It's interesting that that's one of the things you bring up because given how big Lotus is, I mean, you almost have to be strategic on where you die if you want to be able to provide some of that smoke value post-death.
Going out.
So we'll see how it plays out. I would expect, given what I was just saying, there'd be a lot of mid-presence, and that seems to be where we're starting things off.
Yeah, you have everything smoked off right now. 3 different layers. And Shy, he almost gets that kill, but Moose, rightly so.
It's caught with a knife out. Is Shy. No real way.
They're waiting for Oxy here. They heard him. He made way too many steps. These risky plays. They're giving Crew a chance back into the rounds.
They're all funneled into Worm, though. I mean, this is going to be really difficult to get through. Maybe the utility will be enough, but this feels very reminiscent to the pistol that we saw on Abyss. You don't have any more utility. You just have to jump through the smokes, and Cloud9 are glad to take that fight.
And this is what the comp can do for you. When Clove and Omen are still alive, even if Clove dies, you can have infinite smokes, it feels like. The rechargeables, they come back up. So in the post plant, if you're able to get the spike planted, that's where you'll shine. We already see it so far. How are Crew gonna play against this? Maybe you're gonna see them trying to fight for more space aggressively. Maybe not give the sites for free anymore.
Remember here, on Abyss, Cloud9 was able to win the pistol, and then Crew ecoed them. We'll see if that's the case here. As Cloud9 seem to lean towards C, and the site is entirely vacant.
Yeah, a good call right now. For Vanity and Co. They just have the Killjoy controlling the middle and A side of the map with full utility there. This will be a free site, a free spike planted once again. And it's up to Crew now to try to funnel their way in, do as much damage as they can.
My buddy. I think if I remember correctly, the last time on that Abyss round that we were talking about, there were 2 Sheriffs. Just one this time in the hands of Kesnet. And then Classics. No armor, no real investment compared to the last time. So it seems like Crew aren't even really interested in this. Perhaps just waiting to die to the spike and maybe take a couple of kills along the way.
And they're just waiting for any type of push from Oxy right now. This time Oxy, he's wise to it though, but I say that, he still gets punished.
Only one found.
He's trying to make something out of nothing, but Melzer, speak of the devil.
This has gotten messier than it should have.
It's chaotic.
It's down to 1v2 and Rooney, the safe and steady hands of Rooney. Avoid disaster for Cloud9. He cleans up Kesnet. I believe he got 3 in that round as Cloud9 get their second.
I'm so impressed with Crew's approach to these retakes and even their, their executes on the attacking side, especially like coming from the last map. They're taking their time. That's what I'm impressed about. Normally when you think of this team of Crew and all the aim that they have, they kind of can rush things a bit, and that's where they get picked off individually. But the cohesion that I'm seeing this time around in playoffs, it honestly is reminiscent to the run that they went on last year.
Into the 3rd round we go. And you're already seeing Crew invest a little bit more towards mid. Oh, this is really nicely done from the defense.
So snappy with it.
And now the spike's out. No man's land. You've got one player close by. It's Vanity with the Judge. Very familiar weapon in his hands. Opts for something a little bit stronger, a little bit more powerful. And the sleight of hand gets him another kill. Repositioning now, manages to scoop up the spike. Now it's a 3v2, the way of the defense.
That's just so ridiculous, being able to jump into the smoke and still convert a kill there.
And you see on the minimap, that red circle is the range at which Clove can smoke.
Yeah, so at least there could be a smoke done in water.
Oh, they dropped it B. So it's just waiting on the other side of B to suggest that that's where the hit's going to be. And of course, because of that, Crew of 2 members standing here watching it.
So smart, that little lurk smoke, you're right. It keeps 2 players of Crew there, but now when it goes down, those close smokes don't last for too long. That's the only thing that's not too good about that agent.
Right.
It will be another re-smoke there in front B. Moose. And aggression for Moose.
He's going to spot them both, isn't he? Yeah.
Placing alarm bot.
That just looks so easy. Fortunate timing for the Sentinel. And now Melser's going to rotate back again. Still a 1v2, and again, you've got Vanity, who's very weak. So this is difficult, but not impossible. That alarm bot will make things notably more complicated, though.
Yeah, and after that alarm bot, you have to deal with this turret. Double layered utility, and then Vanity, yeah, he's 1 HP, but he can just bide his time and just be a thorn for Melzer. Delay the defuse. It's inevitable. Melzer has to leave the site. Yeah. Vanity brought this round back to life for Cloud9. Solo. He gets the judge, gets a kill, jumps into the smoke. The risky plays I was talking about, but this time when you're down numbers, you kind of have to go for that. Getting out alive in that moment. We see the clove of Rooney. Yeah, he gets dropped early on here, but that one lurk smoke giving all the space on the C site. And the follow-up from Moose. No one from the side of Crew are worried about this because they see that smoke come out, or they hear it, I should say. Why would somebody be pushed up past that?
I mean, they essentially wanted a 2v5. The first 3 kills that Crew were able to get were ridiculous.
It's insane.
And now the bonus, the way of Cloud9. The money not great for Crew. They've invested a little bit into the hands of Kesnet. Hero rifle, full armor around it. But Cloud9 at such an advantage right now.
Yeah, what a start from Cloud9. They really have an opportunity to run away with this one on this attacking side. Keep in mind, this is an attack-sided map. I think everybody knows that very well by now. Moose gets out of dodge. I wonder if he's going to pick this turret up or leave it up.
He's got to be cautious. There's a lot of pressure headed for him, and they've... Oh, what? The post? That's what keeps him alive? Moose gets 2. I mean, snappy shots from Heat to stop those antics. How do you deal with that? You've got the most dynamic high-low I think I've ever seen is Oxy satchel him forward with a shorty in hand.
And they're going to cycle that spike onto Rooney as well, building closer to the towards that ult. Oxy taking all that free real estate. Vanity cleaning up the round. Moose, yeah, he was just using that sliver of the poles there in front B to his advantage. That was insane.
Imagine we'll get a look at it one more time as Crew calls a timeout. Yeah, what is this?
Line of sight. Using the game to his advantage. Good map awareness from Moose, though. A lot of players in this type of pressure, you know, you hear all those footsteps running at you, the fade, eye comes out towards you as well. A lot of them crumble in those moments, in that high pressure moment. But Moose, this time around, he's so aware of his surroundings, using them to his advantage. That's what got him 2 kills.
It was almost comedic. Yeah, and it was like the Pillsbury Doughboy hiding behind a toothpick. And like you can still get seen the whole time, but the eye's just blind, I guess. I don't know. And so Cloud9 find themselves up 4 with full momentum.
I gotta go back to what you said because, you know, Cloud9, the organization, they did a One Piece collab, and Tony Chopper, I don't know, for those One Piece fans out there,
dude, I'm not
tends to hide in that way. You might not, but the One Piece fans will know. Same thing. Full body exposed, but that little sliver will cover it. So funny.
We'll see what the adjustments looks like on the other side of the timeout. An entirely different tale already compared to what we saw in Abyss. Remember, it wasn't until, what, the last 4 rounds that Crew were starting to burn timeouts. A much earlier one this time around.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They need to stop the bleeding. It's not out of their hands either at this point. You have ultimates coming up online from both sides. Kesnet is sitting on that showstopper. What can he do with this?
Heavy aggression towards A. Immediately denying some of that space.
Shadows traveling.
And in a lot of ways, they're kind of funneling Cloud9 towards C here.
Yeah, Cloud9 are okay with this. They tap that B revolving door. Try to feint pressure that they collapsed onto front B. Moose invested one of the mollies in front B as well. Extra pressure there. That's why you see 3 members so far from Crew stuck behind that lurk smoke on B. But an alarm bot put within that smoke. So Crew, Shy, making a good adaptation to that front B pressure.
Heat's eye, I believe, should be up here pretty soon. He used it at the very beginning of the round. Now they're starting to lean back A. Vanity not able to stick at their side that I was just mentioning. And so we're starting to see a lot of this delay again. for Cloud9. We're 45 seconds left into the round. They have a little bit of room, or they just try to overwhelm A. It works against Meltzer. He has to take a step back.
And while all that's happening, Vanity's trying to find a lurk timing onto C. He will sneak his way in. MTA, did he not hear
30
that?
seconds left.
Oh, he may not have.
Oh, Shy just in the right time, but doesn't get the kill.
The paranoia out. MTA trying to take a step back, but Rooney arrives at just the right time. Now they pop the ult, but it's not going to connect. And so Cloud9, with just a few seconds left in the round, finds space.
Planted.
They leave things in a 1v2 in the hands of Heat, who was a hero for Crew so many times. The res popped. The fight from Rooney, inching forward. 31 HP left for the initiators. Rooney will fall. Now, with 2 bullets left, how do you do this? A change in the weapon, and Zeppa cleans him up. A stomp from Cloud9 early on.
Vanity again. He's coming up clutch in these moments when they're down numbers. The double swing as well to punish Melzer, who was basically solo holding with no help from Heat in that moment. A bit of a disconnect right there, huh? But still, it's the IGL that's taking things into his own hands. This was a nice flash play from Melzer early on. Good follow-up, but right here, that double swing. Just too many targets, couldn't control it. And that Clove ultimate, look at that.
Nice, baby.
That's where you see the value of Clove on a map like this. Rooney, 7 assists. Wins the comeback into that round in the 2v1. What a cool composition. And so far, Vanity, he's been having a field day with his attack side calling. And basically avoiding all the disaster and all the traps of Crew towards that A side of the map, taking C Mound for free. I don't think Crew have fought C Mound 1 round so far, but it looks like they're getting a little aggressive here in the A lobby.
Pop the ult. It shows MTA on the other side. Oxy's never even able to get the ult off. Remember here, they still have 2 Guardians in the hands of the defense. One of them is still so far away. Cloud9 get plenty of space. They get the spike down. Moose 1 away from his ult. They've invested the Nightfall too and the Paranoia.
Yeah, this is snowballing out of control for the side of Crew right now, Doug.
I mean, they are confident in something. And that confident approach, call to arms, might be a sign of success. Kesnick falls, Heat does too, and it's just the Sheriff now. In the 1v3, the first target not connecting. Zeppa with 3, Cloud9 get to 6. That was a notable investment.
Yeah, they're gonna wish they had that Fade ultimate going into the future rounds. When you're on a thrifty buy like that, I get it. You know, the numbers are even. Makes you enticed to use an ultimate to try to win the round. But that plant coming down in a spot where, you know, Vanity bought the Odin for that. That's the whole point of this Odin buy. You're able to spam the spike from any angle that is planted right there. Vanity's sitting at 8-1, Doug.
He's had an excellent map so far. And he had a couple of really bright moments on this as well.
And no change from the side of Crew, still doing this 3-man towards A. And the response from C9 is just going to be to take C Mount control again. This time a heavy lean, though, from Crew. A heavy lean and a re-clear front B. Vanity ahead of this, though.
The door picked up, and now Moose has his ult online.
Oh, Vanity putting out a lurk smoke onto A. That makes Melzer have to back out, seeing as he's the only one here.
Cloud9 are throwing a lot of different looks into this round.
Yeah, Vanity's been calling such a great half so far.
That's one of the things I love about 3-side map like this, is it allows you to be so dynamic in your feints.
Yeah, look at this. They understood they've taken C for free most of the rounds. Now, why not go A?
I mean, the lack of information is just so difficult to deal with.
It's another free site. They've chosen right almost every single round so far, Doug. Ooh, Heat takes out the spike of Zeppa.
Very nice shot.
And that's Thrash gone for the rest of the round. He cannot pick that back up. He is dead.
The lockdown invested, the spike not even planted yet, so there should be a pretty notable time window there. What a shot from Melzer. So now they're going to wait this thing out, and now they can push their way forward. Melzer just has to buy his time. Cautious now. Heat falling. And now that nade, no real place to go. Melzer can't really get out of there. He's still stuck down there. He doesn't have a TP. As the spike ticks away, Moose and Rooney left alone. A little bit of utility dropped, and this is so tough for the remaining 2 members. Can they try to hold things down as much as they can? What a swing from Moose!
Player standing.
Melzer's left in a 1v1. Rooney had some big moments. Does he even know that it started? He's gotten it to have. The smoke goes down, the bullets come through. Rooney gets Cloud9 another.
And that's a Rooney who had a really rough last map.
Yeah.
Sitting at single-digit kills. This time, stepping up huge for his team. Wow, that's a crazy shot.
Through aim punch and everything.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's so hard. Oxy with the proactivity in the post plan as well. And then that double swing right there. Nice proactivity, nice calling so far from the side of Cloud9. Game plan is in full effect, and they're up 7-0 on this attacking side. Crew, they can't have anything work. And now look, now they decide to fight C-Mount, but it's a fast AD fall. Crew can't catch a break right now.
This feels like some of the pistols and some of the ecos that we saw from Crew at the beginning of the half. Remember how many times Moose was able to find a couple of kills from this very moment again? I think about the haunt round. And Moose is in the exact same spot.
This time he picked up his turret though, so they might not be aware that he's here. Oh, they're doing their due diligence though. That Prowler will fish him out, but he still gets one?
Not able to find much more. So that has been dealt with.
Spike planted.
And a weapon in the hands of Meltzer. Let's see if they're able to convert that into anything else. Meanwhile, while all of that was going on, the spike has been planted. It's been ticking away for a little bit now as kills are traded back and forth. Vanity stuck on the other side. It seems like they're all going to be huddling into tree. They've got to have a decent idea of where that is. Oh, they're going to pass right by each other. Vanity getting active with it. Only traded 1 for 1, though. Heat's on the tap. They still don't have any tree control. They've got Wingman coming through. They've got the spam through the smokes. This is such a, I mean, borderline impossible situation. Shy only gets his 1 as Cloud9 get 8.
Cloud9 have been so good on these post plans. They get the spike down and the proactivity from Oxy in that moment. Yeah, he gets punished for it, but we kill the player and drop because of it. MTA gets taken out. Moose getting 1 here, that's criminal.
And I'm honestly, even the time that he bought, felt like such great value, independent of whether or not he was able to find a kill.
Last player standing.
So insane. Rooney and Zeppa in these post plans, they've been so good in tandem. The chemistry between these two players is really showing on this map. How they're playing off one another in those post plans. And even in the previous round, it was Rooney and Moose. So Rooney stepping up huge on this map. Maybe a good mental reset for him. A fresh start. That goldfish memory could be so impactful for players in moments like this.
That's what Josh was saying, or Sideshow was saying on the desk. Like, you can't, when this is where your season potentially ends, you can't really think about what went wrong on map 1.
You cannot.
You just have to look forward. You have to think about what's next.
Yeah, maybe a lot of nerves in that first map and etc. You flush them out. You come in locked into this one. Now you're sitting at 10-4-7, something that Heat was doing on the previous map. Answering back already. Crew still yet to find a round on this defensive side of Lotus. And they're going to need to scrap anything they can get right now. And it doesn't have to be pretty, Doug. They just need to get on the board. Otherwise, we're just going to be breezing on into Haven.
The second timeout has been burned. Crew find themselves down 8. Cloud9 looks so comfortable here. They've got a considerable amount of money to work through. That's certainly not the side they were looking for. That high hit so many. He's gonna pop the ult. But Zeppa's close, so he doesn't know he's there. President falls, but at least the rocket went off. Zeppa's not able to stabilize and get any more.
Down A.
It's all up to Heat here in a,
Enemy remaining.
in a 1v2 on this side of the map. Melzer will be able to get with him here, though.
Moose on the swing. Heat gets both. 3 on the round for him as Crew finally finds success.
And there it is. It's like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty.
And it wasn't.
It was heroics from Heat in that moment, but sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need one player on your team to step up for you so you can get fired up and get into the game. But yeah, these tiny micro mistakes, like Cousin not clearing out, Zeppa there close right. A lot of things are slipping away from Crew right now. These are things that we didn't see them messing up on that last map. When there's so much at stake, you know, elimination, your season being done, you not making champs, you start forgetting the little things that got you here.
They do have a little bit of a buffer, but you're right. Depending on how this map goes and the next, the streak could be broken. Crew have attended every single champs. And that is now in jeopardy. An alarm bot keeping him back from B. You've got a couple of guns, a firing squad watching over it. And Rooney's already dead. Pops the ult. Now the question is, do they try to take this fight? That was not an assist, so that ult is still in play. Now he finds it onto Heat. Meanwhile, Mouse are trying to do his moves backside. He can. Plant committed now. MTA has this pit. He's been holding onto that thing for a little while too. As they invest the Thrash, they're going to clear all the way back into sight. Rooney dead. MTA detained. And that pit will last at least one more round. Oxy with the ult. Kesnit a sitting duck. That's another one for Cloud9.
Disgusting mechanics from Oxy right there at the end, and a disgusting use of Thrash. The proactivity, he wraps it back around. Not only does he clear out all of Heaven, so they don't have to worry about that angle whatsoever, but he wraps it back around and detains 2 people with that. Zeppa's been having a hell of a map so far in terms of his mechanics and utility usage. I'm super impressed with him so far. And a free cleanup right there at the end. Another Clovalt put to good use as well, right, from Rooney.
Yeah.
We're seeing the value of this double controller. We're seeing how good Clove can actually be on a map like Lotus.
They're so convinced that whenever Crew are under an eco, that they're just going to push.
Yeah.
And I mean, the truth is they've done that seemingly every round. We talked about how they hit at C so many times. This time, I mean, look at Cloud9 still have a couple of members in spawn.
It's so smart to play reactionary on these type of rounds when you're doing a default on the attacking side. You get to fish out what the setups are on the defense. If there's any type of aggression, you can kind of just react, go the other way, take that free space. That'll open up a double feint if you want it, or you can just go straight into an execute like we've seen C9 do time and time again towards this C. This time investing utility. Why not? Will that nade be able to break it? I don't think that breaks.
Oh, it's going to take a little bit more than that. It's going to go off, and Crew are forced to scatter and try to get out of the site as best as they can. It was Heat who was detained, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, super aggressive smoke into water as well with that detain. So now an extra layer of utility needs to be used in water, or a double swing. But it's these post-plant scenarios where Cloud9 have reigned supreme all map long.
Yeah. This has been a problem the Crew have not been able to solve. And I don't really know how you do it with the weaponry they have. 2 Guardians, 2 Sheriffs. I mean, that's going to help the matter, but one of them is now just sitting harmlessly on the ground. But that might be where the real firepower is in the Sheriffs. The spray is too steady, it's too stable. Cloud9 get to 10.
Even with all that commotion on the site and people fighting together and whatnot, you just had Moose sitting in the back of Mound, just AFK, playing his Molly lineups anyway. So there's multiple layers to this approach on the post plants from the side of Cloud9. And early on in the half, Crew were actually punishing some of the proactivity. But now it's just night and day from the first couple rounds, the first few rounds of the half. I think the way that Crew lost that bonus round against Cloud9, the 2v5, absolutely obliterated their mental.
Yeah.
And they have not been able to bounce back whatsoever.
That is difficult to navigate.
We even saw, you know, some glimpses of the players' faces and reactions on that last map, but they were able to bring it back.
Oh, they're going to try to crunch this around Mound. They've got a Paranoia on one side. They've got a swing out from door. Shy finding his 2, but Zeppa a little bit better. Finding 2 of his own. Meanwhile, Moose has gone exploring the wall. The only thing keeping him back, he's cleared him. Now they've got to know where he is, and Moose just drops him. Oh, no way. He hears him. He knows he's there. He's dead. Zeppa with 3. Kesnit forced to find heroics. How do you 1v3 through this? You've got a couple before you. Vanity commits to the spike plant, and he never even gets a shot to fight back.
One of the most dominant attacking halves of Lotus I think we have ever seen.
I mean, near perfection.
Seriously, clinical. And Zeppa, he's on fire. That lurk from Moose, too, using that Viper Wall to his own advantage. MTA had no idea.
An absolutely ridiculous half so far from Cloud9. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and then Death will break down what they saw.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with TCK of Cloud9. Are you flexing? He's flexing. Definitely, you said. Now, this is a pretty dominant attacking half in your estimation. What do you think is making Cloud9 so successful?
We had dinner yesterday night, so, you know, I put in some tactics for them to follow. Yeah, I choose their loadouts.
Oh, okay.
Gun loadouts, Vandal, Phantom, it's all on me.
Yeah.
So, you know, probably with that. We're smashing in attack. Defense will be also better. We're winning the pistol. 13-1, going to the third map.
Are you coaching from here?
Yeah, sure.
Comp ops? Don't worry about it. It's fine. But where did you go for dinner and what did you have? What's the pre-match ritual kind of thing?
Oh, the pre-match. We had I don't know that much food here in LA.
That's fine.
I'm here for a week and eating a lot of junk food. Good food. We had chicken.
Okay.
Yeah,
protein?
chicken. Yeah, protein.
Gotta get big.
Gotta
get big. Gotta get swole. Flex for him one more time. You know, gotta show. Well, we gotta go back. The gun show is over. We gotta go back to the game.
Those are ridiculously large biceps. It's just unbelievable. I don't know how the guy does it. Look, the truth is, as much as he's been eating, Cloud9 have been feasting on Crew. They just had their way with them for an entire half. You mentioned it. It was borderline perfect. Just one round where there was, I guess, a smudge. Other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah, the bonus round was honestly the main factor, I believe. I think Crew were not able to recover after that moment. And honestly, from that point on, Vanity, he was in the flow state of calling. It's going to take a miracle right now for Crew to make this comeback. Here. But Cloud9, they've historically been very good at a map like Lotus. We've seen even in the old iterations, right? They kind of invented their own meta on a map like this, and it looks like they're doing that again with this Clove.
He's got the attack side Viper wall towards A. One alarm bar, one nano, excuse me, has been cleared. There's still one more to deal with. Right on cue, the thing goes off. You still have the turret backside too that now goes down. So they've dealt with all of the Sentinel utility that was posted up on the site. Now they can focus on opposition before them.
Yeah, Paranoia and Gecko Flash combined here would be deadly for Crew. That Paranoia connects onto 2. So does the Gecko Flash.
Right over the top, but it's Heat who walks away with the kill. That was a slaughter.
Doug, how does he win when he's blinded by 2 different characters? A Paranoia on top of it. He's just spraying and praying that ghost, but it works in his favor. Yes, Crew have been getting absolutely dominated the entire time on this map, but he is still up there. He's having a wonderful day.
He's the only one who's up there.
Yeah, his performance today has been nothing short of immaculate. Even in this loss, how can you go positive still when you're down 11-2?
That's really, yes, you're right. That's actually really impressive.
And the only round that Crew won, apart from this, I mean, you could include this as well, was off of his back too.
Yep. There hasn't been much more to speak of for Crew, but that will help. And unfortunately, TCK was wrong about his predictions.
Cover going out.
Will be extremity control for Crew, both C-Mount and A space gathered. You should be able to understand that it's either a stack on one of the actual sites or there are members in front B. Footsteps should be able to be heard as well from the side of Cloud9, so that's why you see a little pivot.
Yeah, you can tell what the idea was for them too. They were posted up right by the door. If the turret gets any contact C, they flood through it and they try to fight behind them. But Crew, wise to it, decide to hand back A. The problem is, look at where Cloud9 are already. They're a step ahead of this.
We're a little bit too slow into this, and it's going to be a fast flood with these classics. That nade does connect on the Moose.
You've got an eye backside, Shy joining in on it. The Paranoia will delay the flood for just a little bit longer. And then again, Oxy with 15 HP. Vanity, not much more. I don't know how Vanity even gets one there. That's impressive as it is, but Crew get their third.
Yeah, it could have been scary, but the util usage from Crew was still too much for Cloud9, even with the flood in effect. Kesney with the raise nade and everybody else just spamming away on all the players trying to cross into that pit. Rooney with that Sheriff, always good for one.
He does seem to find success with that weapon more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Historically very good with it. Now this is where Cloud9 were able to really lean into that first half stomp that we saw. It was off of the bonus, and yes, it was a 2v5. I don't want to say Crew need to win this round, but I mean, they kind of need to win this round.
Yeah, it's a must-win round right here. This bonus conversion would be everything for a comeback. And even then, it's still a tough thing to accomplish. But it can give you the confidence to start building it round by round. And then, you know, who knows?
Yeah, an 11-1 comeback starts a step at a time. Yeah. The problem is they just took a massive step backwards with Kesnet dead.
Exactly. That's your entry. That's the raised nade going down early on. And Shy, he's not even aware. Rooney
Enemy remaining.
playing aim labs in the back
Spike
sight.
down A.
That should all about wrap things up. MTA's left alone in a 1v4. He's gotten it down to a 1v3, but with so many members of Cloud9 left on the other side, they're going to get to map point. And they've taken us to the doorstep of Haven here.
And they made it look easy in that round, too. There wasn't really much to really go deep down into. I mean, it was a spam kill onto Kesnet from Moose, just understanding timings. And Rooney just in the back sight. He doesn't have to worry about Tree whatsoever because he has an Omen smoke there from Vanity. So he just needs to look straight ahead of him, and that's exactly what he did. He got 2 into that round.
And again, we mentioned Rooney and the struggles he had on map 1, currently 15 and 12. A night and day difference. Seemingly far more comfortable. And so Cloud9 again, looking to put Crew away, looking to take us to Haven. Elsewhere, that's not going to feel good.
He does get out before taking too much damage, or no damage at all, actually.
Yeah. And you see the buy for Crew, too. They've got heat on a Sheriff. You just can't really afford anything else.
Yeah. Cloud9.
Is Rooney going to hit another clip here?
He might. Oh, they're spamming him. They know. Oh, he can't connect. Kesnet. He was unaware, but he still settled at the end of the day.
The crosshair was behind every step of the way. And so now Crew take a step back as the round is ripe for reset. Cloud9 forced to divide their attention and divide their resources.
Bring them down.
Prowler coming through. You already see some of the Clove smokes. Imagine they'll be going down here very soon. Once they understand where Crew are headed, the ult is popped from Kesnet. There's only one target on site, it's Vanity, and he's just around the bend. He slouches forward, he's been spotted, he's been dealt with. And it wasn't off the rocket, but the outcome is the same. Now Oxy looking to fill in! He gets 2, he gets a 3rd! Oxy looking to call game, and he very well might. Heat behind him, cleans him up. Moose in a 1v2. On the flank. The alarm bot will not matter. Melser and Heat left to find where he might be coming from.
Remember, on that last map, it was a 1v2 from Moose on the flank as well, but this time, Crew are ahead of it. Melser gets the jiggle.
Takes a little bit more damage, down to 27 HP. He's saving.
Yeah.
Crew are gonna live to fight another day.
But that was almost ridiculous from Oxy, no?
Yeah. I mean,
just runs in with the satchel, kills 3.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Heat trying to wrap around back sight, who knows how much more value Oxy finds.
Oh my goodness. So crazy, but this time, Crew getting the first blood, resetting the round. Oh, that's tough. Sometimes the tracking is just not quite there. And it's oftentimes those kills are the hardest to actually get. When a player is kind of just not even aware that you're there, not really looking at you. Doesn't have his rifle out, all things that kind of throw off your own gameplay. It undials you in that moment.
Crew with just 2 rifles and light armor the whole way. There's a chance we're playing at least one more round. Unless Crew completely fumble this.
My ult is ready.
Ult online for Rooney. He's gonna want to fight.
What is that?
Better lucky than good sometimes.
Gun here.
That's a way back in, you're right. This is a way to close out this map. Oxy with a Vandal now, and they're gonna go for more? Oh, Rooney's going in first because he has the ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get dropped instantly.
Yeah, he can't use it anymore with Oxy falling there. He'll just get ran down.
Right, where is he going?
But still, it's a 3v3.
There's no safe passage to be found. And I think the bigger thing here is it's not just a 3v3, but it's a 3v3 where Cloud9 had 3 rifles, and they're just down to 1 now. The little advantage that it seems like they had acquired is gone. Vanity finds his 1. But now the spike on a mad dash back towards B. Remember, Moose has the rifle, and Moose has arrived. The turret betraying his position. Zeppa on the swing. Shy will fall. He's left alone. A 1v1. Zeppa weak. Just 45 HP. He's going to have to do a wingman. It becomes a 1v2. That's finally cleared out. The tap not connecting. Both clips empty. The reload through. The swing out. He's waiting just on the other side of the turret, but he's forced out by the Mosh. Now eye cleared. Bullets delivered. Heat gets Crew to 5.
That's what, 3 rounds, 1 from Heat alone? He played that 1v1 phenomenally. Zeppa, he was also doing a really good job trying to bait out Heat to make any type of mistake. But the trades back and forth, they worked in Crew's favor this time around. Vanity getting that kill on the door gave his team a chance, even with the bad weaponry they had going into this. But Heat, he's too cold right now, 18 and 12, and his team is down 7 rounds.
There's still so much that has to go so right.
Yeah.
For Crew to pull this thing off. And I think that's something that can unfortunately happen very quickly, and you just kind of get sucker punched and realize, wait a second, how did this get away from us? So Amy calling a timeout here, an opportunity for things to settle. We'll see what their plans are. They have a couple of ults that are available too.
And they have another timeout after this as well. They haven't had to use anything. I mean, they had an 11-1 half on an attacking side. So they don't need to really be too worried. And yeah, you're right. They don't want what they did to NRG to happen to them right now. That would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, the crazy thing is we think about how this map has gone. Crew are actually, they're winning in first kills. They're winning a considerable amount of them. The problem is they're just losing a ton of 5v4s.
Yeah, or 2v5s.
Yeah, and that's just not like 5v4s, yeah, 5vx's, whatever, when they have the numbers advantage. That's a recipe for disaster. So if they're able to clean that up, again, the problem is it's just such a big mountain they're staring up at this point.
It is good that they're seeing some signs of life going into that map 3, though, even if they lose this map. Because you're right, that defensive side was abysmal. Especially with the advantages that they accumulated early on.
Cloud9 with full rifles, light armor on everyone, but 3 ults to play around. And I mean, they've got Zeppa 2 away from his. Moose isn't far off either. You wonder here how much they're willing to invest. Because again, they're just 1 round away.
They're slowly biding their time. They showed a lot of pressure front B, and it's going to be a split.
Crew have to play this with surgical precision. There is no room for error of any kind.
The flood might be just too much, though.
Oxy not connecting with the ult. The Nightfall is dropped, and Oxy's dead. It's Kesnet who comes alive. Dude, Cloud9 cut their losses here. They don't have a ton of money.
Yeah, you have to.
Satchel out.
You have to save right here. It gives you a chance to win the next round. And then obviously you can buy after that. And for Crew right now, your economy's pretty good. You're sitting at match point. I guess you do have a couple members sitting low, but Kesnet and Melzer can afford to go hunt. I mean, honestly, even MTA, he's close to that Viper's Pit. This is something you want online for these future rounds. A showstopper would be great going into the next as well.
Yeah, 1000%. And when you think about a comeback of this magnitude, ults play a huge part in it. Not just in being able to navigate what the opposing team is trying to do to put you away, but finding success in what you do have.
Yeah. And a lot of teams make this mistake when they try to make these comebacks that are so hard to do when they're at such a deficit of stacking too many ults in the same round.
Sure.
You kind of have to go into these rounds trying to get just 1 and winning with 1.
Yeah.
And then the next round you snowball again. All of a sudden you have the team on an eco. You don't need to invest an ult in the round, or sometimes you might have to, depending on how scrappy it gets. But it was really cool that round. The Heat's ultimate on that fade, combined with Kesnet's nade, is what punished Oxy. Otherwise, Oxy just gets away, you know, maybe he takes 20 damage, whatever. But the fact that fade ultimate connected, the nade just one-shot him.
And that was after he had popped his ult, too.
Yeah.
So again, keep a close eye on the ults. Kesnet went away, MTA went away. Zeppa's also really close by to having his. And he's currently caught up in this spam fight towards C. Forced to just sit back. wait for this double controller comp to drop all the smokes that they can, and it's so suffocating and so refreshed. That's Kesnitz, or at least an attempt to. You see the spam instantly coming through from Moose.
Good job of doing this A default from Crew. You're right. Getting Kesnit that showstopper, also baiting out that molly in the tree. That makes C9 have to back up, not play that tree area anymore. But do Crew read into that?
Oh, Shy's got to be careful. He was playing just on the other side of the close smoke. It didn't hit him. Oxy's on the swing. Oh, and he finds his one. But it traded right back. Crew with numbers advantage. Everything crumbling once more. Numbers the way of Crew. Time is short. The paranoia is out from Melser. And now Rooney's going to have to tank this molly, tank the orb. I mean, so few options. Paranoia is going to help, though. I think it hit all three. Oh, no, it only hit two. Melser still alive, avoiding the utility. Crew gets a 7.
They're slowly creeping up into things. The defaults from Crew, they're looking really good right now. Baiting out utility, getting a read on the positioning of C9. They started with a C mound default, but they understood that C9 was baiting a fight towards there. That's the clove smoke from Rooney going up the one way onto C, and that's why it's the constant push and pull. What is the reaction from Crew? We're going to take all that A space, get the showstopper onto Kesnit. Yeah, Oxy found the craziest window right there, the craziest timing, dodging that fade Prowler by like, what, a millisecond?
Yeah, I don't know how he's just tucked.
But still, the split was in full effect at that point, Crew.
And I want to go back to something you were talking about earlier around how Crew invests their ults. If they're able to pull this thing off, I think you're right. They can't just dump every single ult into the round. It's got to be this repeated cascade of ultimates, round over round, that keeps the opposition down. And I think Crew are set up for that. I think the question is, how do they manage the resources that they have?
If they can win this next round where the money is scrappy from Cloud9, without using any of those ultimates, they put themselves in a really good spot to do so.
Shy is one away from having his lockdown. Heat's halfway to his.
And Cloud9, they took their last time out of this half. I imagine what Imi was telling them in their ear was, yo, we have so many ults that are online. If we can win this round, great, you know, but don't go crazy with the investments onto this round. Rooney has been popping off, so yeah, Vanity, of course, he's going to buy him a weapon. Vanity has always been a team player in that aspect. And you imagine next round he's going to be on a judge. And he tends to close games out on that judge as well.
But it really feels like a lot of the momentum is the way of the attack here.
It has been thus far.
And the fact that we're still playing this map is ridiculous.
Yeah, 11-1.
And look at the approach from Crew.
I have the spike.
They're so quiet. The setup here is very different too. I mean, you've got the turret, you've got the nanos. Do they commit onto this? The pathing from Kesnit, it's so nice! And Rooney's been caught. Moose is forced to play back sight. He hasn't given his position away. Has not made his presence known. Just on the other side of the warp, not taking any decay yet. But now they're going to try to flood their way through. Again, with Rooney's dying there, he can still provide impact with the smokes. The hop back side is really good. Oxy's already dealt with Melser finding 2. That's 3 on the round for him. A flawless round as Crew get to 8. And things are starting to swell.
It was a very cool round. We saw an Omen smoke come out, basically blocking the Killjoy turret off from the rest of the site, and that allowed Kesnit the free reign to use those satchels and not get slowed down at all, getting that kill.
There's that smoke.
On the Rooney, yeah, that's the smoke right there. And then the post plan, I mean, it's too hard when you're down with these weapons. I don't know how that Gecko Molly doesn't actually connect on the Melser there. He must have just been a step away from it. But all of a sudden for Cloud9, things are getting out of hand right now.
5 in a row, 7 of the last 8. Mental is tested in situations like this. And these are things you can't prepare for this. You can't scrim this. How do they manage this?
No, so far it looks like Cloud9 are just worried about every single choke. They haven't really had a read on the attacking half so far of Crew. Apart from that, that pistol round where they met face to face at A site.
Placing alarm bot.
It's kind of been a masterclass from the side of Crew.
Moose getting tagged up a little bit.
Bomb grenade out.
He will get caught with no real threat yet. And Crew fill on in the space. MTA has his pit. Only 2 ults left now. They invested a fair amount of them. And there's one of them. That goes really deep too. Do they have anything for post plants? Anything like that? It's just Kesnet's nade.
They still have Paranoia as well. Fade-Eye just came back up, but Melzer, he's not really close to use this ultimate. Oh, that connects!
MTA's caught. That should be the pit. Can they keep him alive? No! The pit's now down, but it's a 1-for-1. Cloud9 try to flood out into the site. There's a Paranoia from behind them. It's going to buy so much time. Can they keep them back? Shy falls. Heat will join them as well. It's a 2v2 now. Kesnet dancing around the box. Able to get a little bit of damage onto one. And the ult popped. The nade pushing Vanity back. 18 HP. It's all onto him now. Kesnet with 4. Crew with 9.
Kesnet keeping his team in the game. 4 in that round. He gets the reset on the nade. That brings Vanity down to 10 HP. And the double swing. A lot of ults invested into that round from Cloud9. That was a really good thrash. Good spam. But Rooney, he wasn't able to get anything done with that ultimate.
One enemy remaining.
Kesnet too cold in these moments.
That snap onto the 4th was filth. And they're on a weird buy again. 2 sheriffs, a stinger, 2 stingers. The one benefit is you take a look at the ults. I mean, they're favoring Cloud9 here.
Yeah, that was 2 ultimates invested from Crew in that previous round. Oh, they're ready for this. There's so many players ready for this, but...
Kesnet again! Not only equalizing them, giving them the advantage. And Vanity's in a really good spot. Is this how it ends?
No way.
Is this how it ends?
No way.
Spotting 2, spotting all 3. 2 found with 1 bullet. Now Kesnet forced to swing back and deal with him. The door is shut, the spike in hand. Kesnet has no choice. He has to turn his eyes forward.
And if he plants here, this Killjoy ultimate in that corner that was just pinged from Cloud9, it gets almost everything.
He's got to find a kill. He's got plenty of time to do it. 45 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
He's taking a scenic route.
He's making the right play, though. If he goes all the way back to C, his chances of winning are way higher.
But Moose is waiting just on the other side of stairs. It seems like Kesnet will find safe passage to the other side of the map.
30 seconds left.
I mean, maybe you pop the nanos from a distance away, but I think you're right. Dre, Moose's ult feels like the difference maker here. Because even if Kesnet's able to get away, Moose is just able to show up, pop the ult, and then what? His positioning here, Kesnet's positioning is everything. With gun out, he's looking to be proactive and take this fight. And they're going to pass right by each other. Does he hold the line? Moose is waiting on the other side. He's got to creep forward. Now starting to look. There it is. 1 found. And that's his ult. 3 for Kesnet. Vanity weak. No armor, but he's on the hunt. And I don't think Kesnet knows. With knife out, he's behind him. There's the ult popped. With the satchel in his hand, he's going to turn around and find it. And Kesnet with the Red Bull clutch to keep Crew alive.
Kesnet is an absolute freak of nature. Identifying that if he plants at A site, that Killjoy ultimate would get the entire site and limit the spots he can actually play in the post plant. What does he do? He runs all the way around to see the scenic route, as you said. My goodness. What are we witnessing right now? And now there's another Fade ultimate online. But it's a front B exchange. Rooney, he gets one. Melzer trades.
It's instantly. Oh, the rocket doesn't land. Melzer's able to make another great escape. Houdiniing his way out of death. They've invested the Nightfall now. And everything leaning towards A. Keep an eye on Melzer's ult as the Paranoia goes out. Does he commit? Trying to get the spike down. They have to try to flood here. That nade is going to hurt. Vanity's waiting on the other side of it. The Roomba not giving his position away. A couple of bullets spamming through as the spike still planted. 44 HP for MTA, and he still gets the best of Oxy and Seppa 2. Crew with such control here.
Last player
What?
standing.
And it's not getting any worse. Of course, it's Kesnet. Who else but Kesnet? Vanity on the tap, waiting for the swing, not realizing that Kesnet's just around the corner. Crew have gotten to 11. I cannot believe my eyes.
This is absolutely insane. And this is devastating for Cloud9. That big buffer that you had, it's all gone. The pressure is on. Oxy is even feeling it. In these moments, when the showstopper is used, we see Oxy have poise, and he's controlled with it. This time, he jumps the gun too early, and Melzer, who was stuck, he TPs out somehow.
If they're able to pull this off, you asked what we were watching earlier. If they're able to pull this off, this would be history. This would be the biggest comeback that Americas has ever seen.
Shadows traveling.
But they have to do it just to get to OT, and then it's an entirely different ballgame. The paranoia out, tagging onto one. Oxy's position also given away by the Prowler. Oh, what a shot from Oxy. But again, it's always in kind. Where's the trade? Can Kesnet do it? Dancing around the door. No, Oxy with 3. Looking to put him away, but he can't yet. Has the damage been enough? Despite trying to get through, Zeb was waiting on the other side. They're going to funnel to their death, but Shy left in a 1v2. With 54 seconds left, another tap of the door.
Placing swarm grenade.
Like nails on a chalkboard. Shy posts up. He's got a knife out. Not understanding there's somebody in hell, and it's Rooney waiting on the other side. He's been surrounded. If he can find a timing here, though, this would be ridiculous. Can Shy do it again? No! Cloud9 avoid disaster of the most ridiculous kind and take us to Haven. Better late than never, but they do it.
And a look of absolute relief from the side of Cloud9. Look at them. They're so happy that they closed that out.
Not even close, I guess.
Oh my goodness. The Crew almost did it. Kesnet and Heat were on fire.
And I think, honestly, as much as things ultimately end out in the way of Cloud9, you've got to feel really good if you're Crew, knowing that you just made a comeback like that happen, and you've got Haven on the other side. We will see you guys there. Do not miss this last map. It's going to be a banger.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Clutch.